97. You know what the name of it was?
Let's see here. The Shibuya incident part 15.
Yeah, lots of parts of these, man. Uh, so in this chapter, basically, Yuji, what's his name? Fugishiro, is that dude's name?
Right,
The one
right.
with the animals, and then they're like this other guy who's like
Get.
also a nomination for
Get.
like special grade one, are fighting like these people who are
Get.
forming a barrier to like Gojo,
Get.
basically, like the sorcerer barrier. So we start off with seeing the mask guy get his ass straight. Whoa. That was crazy to me. Like, cause I mean, I thought his power was kind of interesting. And then it's like, dude just immediately figures out how it works, takes that mask off, and just jaws him straight in the
Yeah,
face.
bro.
So I was like, damn, well, R.I.P. that guy.
Right.
But we do get to see Yuji and uh Fushiro, whatever his name is, have like a pretty good fight against this other guy whose ability was pretty interesting. It was inverse. Basically the attacks that if you attack him, the stronger your attack is, the weaker it is, and the weaker your attack is, the stronger it is. So they figured out that was his ability, but then they also figured out there's like a stipulation to it, because if it was an all or nothing ability, like the force of air would like be killing him. So they
Right.
realized that it has like a max limit and a min limit. And they kind of use that to end up, it looks like, to come close to defeating him. I can't, he got punched, so maybe he's done, but I'm not sure yet. He might have
Right.
something in his pocket for this last piece, but it looks like they pretty much dropped him.
Pretty
Um,
much.
and
I think it's gonna be like that typical, oh, he's like he should be done, blah blah blah. And then like either someone or something like stops it or gives like that last push before the fight's really over. At least that's
right,
what it kind of looks like. But
yeah,
we won't really see that till the next chapter. But no, I wanted to give up some big ups again to his ability, because I thought, I mean, like out of the abilities that we be really introduced to in the series so far, most of them were like straightforward enough. We're just like, okay, that's a power, that's a power, that's a power. Minus really Gojo Satoru, where like homie's just pretty much a monster. But like this ability was definitely like different. So I mean, it almost like reminded me of like a JoJo Bizarre Adventure kind of power. You know what I mean? Like no one
yeah,
would really see it coming. And to
right.
be honest, it's also impressive that they were even able to figure it out. I mean, like so a power like that, like I don't know, maybe it's just like again part of this world, and like we have more powers to be introduced to too. But I mean, this is definitely a first as far as like the tricky kind of
Yeah,
backhanded scheming kind of ability. So.
yeah. Jujutsu Kaisen gives me a lot of that, like Hunter x Hunter, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure vibes with fights, but on a very like uh on like a DBZ level, I guess. Like if
Mm,
DBZ try to do it where it's not like as deep as those two shows, they don't go that deep with it, but they're still like, it's still like not, it's still smart, you know what I mean? Like
right,
their Nen abilities, like, well, their cursed techniques are as varied as like Hunter x Hunter Nen abilities,
right,
but it's not as like deal breaking as like Hunter x Hunter. Like Hunter x Hunter, you almost need to know someone's Nen before you fight them, and like most of the fight is like trying to figure out the rules and how it works and how
right,
you can beat it. It's like you don't necessarily always need that in these fights, because it's like Yuji's ability is just straight up like he punches hard, you know what I mean? And then
right,
other dudes is like I summon animals, but then you have crazy abilities like this one, which is like inversing stuff, or like Gojo's, which is like literally I control these three magical forces and could just fuck you up any kind of way, you know. So I do get those vibes, and then like some of the fights do have that like intelligent note to it where you're like, oh, they could do it, but sometimes with the stuff, because you're kind of like going along and learning more about the world with the characters, it's like hard to, I don't know, when they go into super detail with how stuff works. I be like reading it and I'm like, I don't know if I fully get
right.
what's going on here. Like I get that you're saying words and I should say them, but I'm like, I don't know if you really explain to me like how this stuff works. Like we got an
Right.
explanation of Gojo's power like basically like 10, 15 chapters ago, but like when it was
True.
first introduced and then he did that whole infinity thing and he tried to explain it then, I was like totally lost. I was like, the fuck is sure?
Yeah, that's
Sure.
strange. It's like with some of the, I mean, I've just always kind of had that slash want or even like confusion with anime manga series is that I still think like some manga as far as like description slash powers go can just be
Yeah.
better explained in anime than manga. You know what I mean? Like I feel like if we got like, those two anime episodes like really going into Gojo's power, we'd be able to absorb that so much easier than just reading the two chapters.
I
But
agree.
but I don't know. I mean, you could tackle that on many ends. I mean, like one, you could just effing trash the artist or the actual writer to be like, hey, do better. Or maybe it's just really that complicated where you just need multiple media outlets to learn slash really represent something. But at least so far, it's still been like decently explained in these series. Again, minus like Gojo, but I mean, we haven't really been introduced to that many complicated powers.
Right.
So,
Exactly.
I mean, so far so good, at least in my book.
Yeah.
But yo, all right, I did want to also drop a note. Like, don't forget, like this guy who gave him the hands. I mean, this is if I remember right, this is the guy that like killed Gojo in the past. You know what I mean?
The one that was punching him. I
Yeah,
thought.
like I think
Yeah.
that like I mean like you may have forgotten but, like a couple chapters back, grandma like said homie's name and like
Uh-huh.
it's well I think it's like something Zenny whatever, but I mean this was the
Yeah.
guy that like gave effing
Oh.
Gojo and like
Oh, if it's that dude, yeah, it's over with.
right.
But I thought that guy was dead.
No, I mean I thought so too, but I think like part of what she just did was like either bring him back or somehow
Uh-huh.
like maybe copy his spirit into that random guy's body, like something along those
Uh,
lines. You know what I mean?
got it. Got it.
So I mean, like if he's like here to stay for a hot minute, like this is about to get
It's
crazy.
a wrap. Because the way he dropped Kojo in the past was already wild, man.
Like for
Like
real.
I was like, yo, because the plan behind it was like what? And then I don't know, like it was great. It was a great read. That's all I can say. So yeah, if it is him, then I actually am not surprised as why this guy just got straight up curb stomped at all. Like that
Right.
dude was too OP.
Right. Like, to be honest, it was just like sad. Like we were still like being introduced to homie's powers, and then you just bring in an OP mother effort to just
All
put
right.
it in the ground. Like, damn.
And I
Fuck.
do like that though. I like that it still seems like there's a significant variety in characters. Like we're still getting introduced to more new sorcerers and with different grades and stuff like that. So even though they try to sell it like it's kind of small, it's like we still have a lot of things to explore, and we're still just 100 chapters in. So it
True.
definitely has potential to go longer if it wants to.
Agreed. Agreed.
All right. Anything else before we rate it?
Uh,
Oh,
no,
I
we
did.
can go ahead.
Shoot, I didn't start the recording. Well, hopefully Gramps is saying
Oh, you serious?
Hell no.
that's fine. Hopefully Gramps' thing will catch that beginning part, and then I'll use whatever. I started it now, so we'll cut that out.
I would
Yeah,
expect it
but
did.
go ahead and rate it. Huh?
I expected it did.
Yeah. But go ahead and rate it, Jagga.
Let's see. I'd probably give this chapter like I mean low key. I'll probably give it a decent no, wait, hold on. Let me think real quick. I'll actually give this a decent as hell minus.
Okay.
I was debating on whether just to give it like a decent or a decent plus, but there are definitely some like good notes in here.
All right.
I mean, one, if OP Buddy like really continues to do work more than just like beat down homie, like from this Gecko chapter and like move on, this is about to get like very, very interesting as far as maybe him like branching out to like the other groups moving in to rescue Gojo.
All
So
right.
maybe he can really like activate or highlight the other special grade sorcerers to be able to do something. So I'm definitely hype up for the next few chapters because of this chapter. And then again, regarding this inverse ability of like not straightforward powers. It's definitely a plus to see that they're expanding the world as best they could. So, and then again, not to mention just putting big ups on. Damn, I can't think of main buddy's name right now. I'm tripping. In any case, I mean, they continue just to highlight like how he's not just all hands, and that he's like actually putting strategy in his fighting technique too.
Yeah.
So I mean, like he really could be like at some point, not soon, but at some point actually showing up more than Gojo, and like that is going to be crazy to see when it actually happens. But the potential's there. So
yeah, I say I give this a decent as hell, just straight. I felt like I have to give it to it because it's like the first fight. I felt like I was able to really understand everything that happened from beginning to end. Like I didn't have any questions about how they beat this old guy or how this power works. Where I felt like in a lot of the other situations I do. So and I still enjoyed those fights. So I felt like now fully being able to understand it, I thought it was a good fight. It was cool to see like Yuji basically raw power with some curse energy, being able to throw a car at somebody. Um, Dude dropping like the max elephant on him. I just thought it was a slick fight, and I liked how Yuji and Buddy worked together.
True.
So yeah, I give it a decent as hell.
All right.